Oh, hey, Fuko.
Yes, Josh.
You know what really
What the hell is that?
gets me wetter than a Texas thunderstorm?
What's that, Josh?
A good P-Brock, which I don't know any.
Obviously. Because you put an E-doubling in there.
I have no idea what I'm doing.
Did you hear that, Doogie? He put an E-doubling in there.
But you know what's been helping me learn?
What's that?
The Introduction to P-Brock course.
At DojoUniversity.com?
on a website that our guest, Mr. Andrew Douglas here, happens to own and manage and operate. But before we get into that, hello everyone, my name is Josh. You're listening to the Chain Rant Podcast. With me, as always, is my bearded co-host, Mr. Andy Fuko.
That's me.
Listeners can... Oh, this is an explicit show, by the way, so we're going to swear, even with Doogie on, and we might even get Doogie to swear a bit. We'll see. We'll see what we can...
We're going to upset him so much.
We'll see if we can frustrate him a little bit. Let's piss off your boss today. But if you're at home, just so you know, it's an explicit show, so I'm going to give you 5 seconds to listen to something else. That's 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Fuck. Listeners can review the show on iTunes, Stitcher, Podbean, Google Podcasts, I don't know, wherever you're listening. You can send us emails and voicemails to be played on air. Like us on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and if you're Australian, Snapchat. Check out the Chain Rant store at chainrant.com. And if you want to support the show, you can do so by becoming a patron at patreon.com/chainrant. For $5 a month, you get access to the vast majority of our live stream shows, for better or for worse. And please invite and share with your friends. Andy, do you want to introduce our guest today?
If I have to. Coming. Can I get some background music? That would be really epic.
No, you want to get like a little reverb?
Ooh, a little reverb would be helpful. Yeah. So coming to us all the way from the depths of upstate New York, the one, the only, the man who loves to piss off anybody in his association, Doogie Douglas.
Woo! Fanfare.
I think everybody at home is clapping for you, Andrew.
It really is the depths, because I'm literally 6 feet underground here in my basement right now.
Hey, at least you're allowed to have basements out there. We can't even have them here, for the most part.
Is it because of the scorpions?
It's I
have a basement, but I'm pretty sure it was dug out illegally, and it is the scariest place on earth.
Oh God, you have a basement in this house, and it's horrifying.
Yeah.
It's the spiders, right?
It's spiders, scorpions, everything.
Oh my God, when I was renovating this place when I first moved in, and I had to go through the basement, climb under the crawl space, like to get underneath here to do the plumbing for the kitchen because it was all jacked up. I literally had like spiders and scorpions at gunpoint. I was like, you back off, you
stay away from me, you bitches.
That was like
I remember an episode where you went into depth on this, and it was horrifying.
Oh yeah. Well, I went into depth on it because Fusco's terrified of bugs.
Yes, big time.
So am I, by the way. I had to have 2 pairs of underpants on.
So the difference is you went under anyway, and I would never have done it.
I would
have paid somebody.
Yeah, I'm not gonna. Well, one, I was poor. I'm still poor, but I was poorer then. And 2, like I'm not gonna let some 8-legged freaks tell me where I can and can't crawl around in my house. But yeah, some of them I did have to kill with a hatchet.
Good, yeah.
Shoe was not gonna do it.
It's amazing.
So how you doing, bud? How's that quarantine life treating you?
It's all right, you know. It's like a simple essentialist kind of life. So.
Well,
it's pretty
you have
good.
the added benefit of, while you do have, your office that you work from, the nature of your work means you can do it kind of from anywhere, just with less comfort, I suppose.
Yeah, that's absolutely 100% correct. Especially on the less comfort.
Well, plus, you got the kids yelling at you all day, right? You don't get that quiet time at the office at 6 in the morning.
That's right, yeah. And my wife has to work too, so we're both like attempting to be productive, but it's a struggle. But but it's also interesting. I mean, we save a lot of money because the kids aren't going to daycare. So
there you go. Not driving around. Not.
I saw a funny meme that said,
"Not going out to all those expensive gay nightclubs you like to frequent."
There's a great meme that says, right. "I'm getting 3 weeks to the gallon. Anybody else?"
Well, I'm not, but
that one cracked me up. But
that's only because the only reason I'm not is because my truck gets about 1.2 miles per gallon, maybe. I have to have a gas can just pouring into it as I drive down the road.
That's good.
It's like one of those. It reminds me of the automatic Christmas tree watering system my dad rigged up one year. We had a particularly thirsty tree, so it watered itself. It's pretty good. I could picture that thing attached to your truck.
Did you have a particularly creative dad with house chores and stuff like that?
No. I mean, not like, no, he wasn't like a super creative nerd dad, but like, yeah, the automatic tree watering thing, that was like, that was a big one.
We have those everywhere in Vegas. They're just they're sprinklers.
Yeah, it's called me out with a hose.
Yeah,
it's me with a hose drinking a beer at 9 a.m. watering my fucking trees because nothing matters anymore.
I'm talking about the ones in the summertime that water us.
Oh, there you go.
At the
That's right.
restaurants
Well,
outside,
I mean, there aren't as many Mexicans in New York. So
no, you guys got the Cubans in them.
So what you're saying is, if I was standing outside a Lowe's or a Home Depot in New York looking for work, I'd have a better chance than I've had so far here in Vegas.
That's exactly right.
I'll go where the spiders are, man.
Funny enough, this is a odd side story. I don't think I ever met a Mexican in my life till I moved to Vegas.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
That doesn't surprise me though. There can't be a lot of. Well, I mean,
that's not true for me.
Yeah.
Well, you traveled as a kid though, right? You traveled a lot.
Well, I lived with a Mexican for an entire year when I was 13.
Oh, like up at your at what's his name school? What's it called?
Yeah, at St. Andrews.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it's still the case, but rich Mexican families used to send their sons to boarding school in Canada, to learn English for 1 year. So,
did they play pipes?
Javier, if you're out there listening,
hey, what's up, man?
Yeah, he misses you. He misses you, Javier. Craigslist missed connection.
But it's pretty much what you would expect. There was one guy. So the Mexicans would come, but just for 1 year, and then they would go home and do whatever. But it's pretty much what you would expect. There were one or two who stayed for several years, if not all the way through to the end of high school. But like, you could probably guess why, which is they were hiding from, or they were basically there so that they wouldn't be kidnapped because
they came from rich families.
That was like a real thing. Like kidnapping rich Mexican sons is a real thing, and there is more than one Mexican there that was like their deal. That's why they were there.
Wow.
So potential revenue opportunity for Chanarant.
What's that?
Just
exactly.
Start kidnapping rich Mexican kids from Canada.
Oh, I thought you wanted to house them for a fee. Okay, you went a totally different direction than I was.
I don't want to house them unless they're going to.
The thing is,
I don't have enough room here.
The thing is, though, most people are not really ready to play that kind of ball. Like if you're going to kidnap that kid, you're in.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think you're getting out.
What do they eat? I'm assuming it's just like
I'm
assuming kids just eat like what, chocolate milk and gummy bears or something. Like I don't have a kid, so
what do you got to do to keep them alive?
Yeah.
Besides,
you're also going to have like
you got to water it.
Like
what do you do with children?
Well, you're also going to need a sizable army because, they're going to come after you.
They're coming for you.
I mean, I'm no post CrossFit Andrew Douglas, but I got my left army and my right army. You know what I mean? They're fairly sizable. It's been quarantine push-up season.
That's good. You're probably doing better than me.
I'm about to say, how's the fitness going, my dude?
I've been dabbling, but I can't really stay committed to it without the social reinforcement aspect. I think,
that's a good transition into. Do you think that's the same thing happening in piping? People are struggling because of the lack of social part of that.
I think that, I think that's probably part of it. Yeah, I mean, not everybody seems to be struggling so far. I mean, the dojo class sizes have doubled in size while everybody's been at home. And nobody's really missing. No one's really gone AWOL. So, so not everybody's struggling, but I think pipe bands are struggling. Yeah, because I think the social element is really, let's face it, like the only reason the bulk of our membership are participating to begin with.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, I can see that.
I see a lot of bands out there floating around Facebook or wherever, and they're putting pictures of their essentially their social hour.
Yeah,
they're not even really practicing. They're just talking to each other.
And I was thinking about this. Like, maybe that's a thing we should do. Although I don't want to do it yet. Like, I want to
wait till people are really desperate.
No, I want to wait till you're really desperate.
Oh God.
Yeah, like
I'm not even close yet.
Like, I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna wait until Fuko misses his band.
Oh, that could take a while.
and then schedule like a social Zoom with everybody.
I was thinking about that. We have not done that yet, but a lot of other bands have. And I'm like,
no. See, this is a good detox. Remember I was talking like a few months ago about like how I think I might just like after this competition season just take a sabbatical and just take a minute, like, you know, focus on some solo playing, get enthusiastic again, and then come back. So I'm just not a crotchety fuck all the time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I remember this.
Here we go, man.
I guess it's forced.
It's my sabbatical.
It's brilliant. I was actually talking to Aussie Broad about this, and Andrew, you may chime in if you have any comments on this. But we were talking about, for her, she was saying this has been brilliant because like she just came to realize how incredibly overwhelmed, and she's a never say no person.
Yeah.
And to a certain extent, I am as well.
Oh, I feel your pain.
And she was like, "Isn't this great? Like I'm so caught up. Like I was actually bored for the first time in my life, or at least years." And I'm like, "Yeah, no, I get it. Like it's definitely in a way relaxing because now I have nowhere to be."
I played like, video games for the first time in like 6 months. It was amazing.
I was thinking about it yesterday or 2 days ago. I was like, "Man, if everything was normal, I would be insanely stressed out and angry right about now because it's a week before the Vegas games.
When the Vegas games were gonna be.
Like everybody sucks. Fuck everybody. You know what I mean?
Nobody's coming to practice. It's a week before the games. Where are you, motherfuckers?
So I don't know. You feeling that at all, Andrew? Like that?
100%. There's a really cool book called Essentialism. I don't know, Josh. You're like a small business nerd. You've probably heard of it.
Yes.
But
I have not read it.
I read that book a few months ago, and so I've already been working on just kind of whittling down the non-essential because I'm terrible with that. It's not so much I'm a yes man, like I don't. Maybe I am a little bit, but I'm comfortable saying no to people. But I just have big shiny object syndrome to the max. So
Like I would describe.
I'm always taking on new things.
I would describe you as less of a yes man, except for like you're very much a yes man to yourself. Like when you're wait, exactly. what is this new platform? What is this new thing? Like, I should go way down a rabbit hole on this.
Yeah, like and I had that experience early on in the sort of situation. Probably, at least a dozen people reached out to me, wanting me to help them do like an online competition, or like this, that, or the other thing, because obviously people reach out to me when they're interested in online education type stuff and all that. And so I had a big string where I just told people no, wisely, because, man, everybody and their uncle is doing that now, which is cool. It's fine, but it's like,
not for you.
It's interesting. Yeah. Like we've been working on actually cleaning out the basement in our house a little bit. Not a lot, but a little bit, and just kind of actually getting back to basics, which is good, I think.
So, would you say you feel less dickish,
and
with
also
with the vacation?
Also, if you cleaned out the basement, did you throw out the sex swing or just sell it?
We threw it out. There's a dumpster dive there's a dumpster diver somewhere that's having a good evening, I think.
Like, man, this hammock really pinches my nuts.
Yeah, exactly. But it's like in the best way.
So I'm interested, in multiple things going on. Obviously, the fact that I'm assuming you guys have business booming in your classes and people, because I went on the site for the first time in a very long time. Well, not a very long time, but I think it was probably since like the most recent upgrade. And it's fucking dope, man. Like, I hate to give credit, but I was on there for like an hour and I was like, this is fucking sweet.
Yeah.
It's like a video game now.
It's pretty. He has gamified it a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty slick. I have to hand it to myself. It's really, really outstanding.
You coded all that yourself, huh?
Well, I put it all together myself. Yeah, absolutely. I've got a web guy. His name is John the Web Guy. And don't Google that. That's not his real name. But so he helped me with a couple of the nuts and bolts. But yes, I actually did, Josh.
No, it's pretty
I did it all
sweet, man.
myself.
I was enjoying it. I started as we mentioned at the beginning of the show, I started the intro to P-Brock class.
You didn't learn much yet.
I didn't learn much. Well, I had to. It took me 45 minutes to get through the fucking intro and disclaimers.
That's true. Andrew does like to tell the story about himself over and over again.
But I
What are you talking about, you fools?
I will say this though. I actually enjoyed it. It gave me background. I never knew the P-Rock Society existed, so it showed me some cool resources and things.
No, some of the I've heard. Okay, so one of the
Can I just stop you? Can I just stop you right there? Hold that thought.
Sure.
So, the P-Brock course at Dojo U that I put together is by far the best P-Brock resource on planet Earth. Okay, you can continue now.
No, yeah.
I've heard him say this before.
You can get a $1 premium test drive by going to chanarant.com/suckless.
Exactly. So what I was going to say, though, is one of the side effects of this thing, which I think maybe, Andrew, maybe you were ready for. I definitely wasn't, but we've been way busier than we ever expected, I think. But also the transition to the new site and the fact that people are bored at home, they're submitting shit like crazy. And a lot of the classes require you to submit like recordings of yourself doing this, that, whatever. And it's like, holy moly, like it's coming in fast and furious. Like, and it never was like that before.
I'm about to say, this is one of
we could get it done in a couple days pretty easily.
This is one of the things that I was interested in asking both of you guys, because I was like, oh, like, you record and you submit, and within a couple days, like, you'll get feedback from an instructor. And I'm like, these guys got to be fucking slammed right now.
Oh, it's
not even a couple days. I mean, we've been, I clear the inbox at least once a day. So, but yeah, so it's a really cool new aspect of the new site. It's actually, and it's really, really working well. But yeah, I had to get up this morning, and I did 30 assignments this morning.
God damn, dude.
It was like, I do them pretty fast. Luckily I type fast, and I know what I want to say and everything.
Sure.
I got in there, and but like, yeah, I didn't do that many yesterday. Might have done a couple in the morning, and yeah, in 24 hours we had 30 submissions. Some people are just a little trigger happy, like,
yes, definitely.
Like they'll do the entire fingerwork fundamentals submissions, all of them in one day. And so that'll be.
I have one of my guys that admitted to me in class the other day. He's like, yeah, I did like 10 daily doses at once. I'm like, please don't do that. Just give us one a day.
Michael something, right?
Michael Brandt. Yeah.
I'm going. You guys don't realize I'm going to go through starting at 0, the very beginner course, and I'm going to submit everything.
That's fine, man. You'll learn something. I guarantee you'll learn something.
But like the thing for me, and this is how I know this is how I know Doogie is sick in the fucking head, right? Because could you imagine like waking up at 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning, ignoring your raging boner, pouring yourself.
Well, his wife ignores the raging boner.
I mean, your wife ignores your raging boner because she's one sleeping. Pouring yourself a cup of coffee and be like, you know what I'm going to do? You know what gets me ready to go in the morning? I'm going to listen to 2.5 hours of people fiddly fucking through 2/4s. Like,
not even that. They're doing like simple. I mean, I don't know what assignments we're in today, but
like, you have described my hell.
Well, there's
a few tricks that make it not quite that bad, but
it's not that painful.
But yeah, dude, I just didn't want to have 79 of them on Monday morning, so I had to do it.
Right, exactly. So the other thing that was interesting is, and this relates to what Josh actually going through some of this stuff and learning something, is I've had a couple people comment to me that they're going through all this stuff. They're going through fingerwork fundamentals. One of them, who's a reasonably experienced player, went through the how to strike in course that you did, that you posted relatively recently. And she's like, oh my God, I had no idea about the high A thing, and I didn't know about the this and that and the this and that. And she's just telling me all these. I'm like, how do you not know this? You've been a dojo student for you've never seen this before? And she's like, just blown away by like the little details you learn, because she's got the time to do it, or these people have the time. I mean, there's numerous people going through this that are like, holy shit, I'm doing this. I never knew blah blah blah.
Yeah, I did an hour and a half of lessons online on Tuesday and wanted to kill myself. It was super fun. Although
You mean teaching?
Yeah, teaching.
Yeah. Okay.
Although I did come up with some new exercises that I think I'm going to roll out to people in the band that don't know how to do basic shit. I have never until I started working with people one-on-one, I had no idea, like, the one simple thing that they never learned that is fucking them up totally overall.
Which is what?
Well, just different. It's different for most people. But
okay.
like I was talking to one of our players who like fundamentally does not know where the beat goes in a tune based on the time signature. Just was playing by ear, essentially.
That's absolutely right. That's absolutely right.
And so like he's like, I really struggle with the metronome, and I was like, well, do you know where the beat goes in the music? And he's like, no, I don't.
He couldn't draw like where the beats fall.
And
really?
So I was like, really? He's like, yeah. And I was like, why have you never told
me
someone
who this
this
is so I can kill this person?
I'll tell you later. But I was like, literally take your music out. I told him, I was like, your assignment for this week before Tuesday, which I still haven't received it, by the way. I was like, your assignment for this week is take your fucking music for, I think we were working the MSR on Tuesday. Take your music, take a fucking pencil. Not a pen, because you're going to get it wrong. You take a pencil, and I want you to mark where you think the beat is
on every measure all the way through.
All through the entire tune. I want you to take a picture of it with your phone. I want you to send it to me, and I will correct it from there.
Okay, interesting.
Because I'm like I cannot believe, and it's it's one of those things. We talked about this on the Joe Brady episode too, but it's one of those things that we run into where it's like everyone is at such different levels, and like I'm kind of new to having to like take over like working with people, and I'm just like, I don't know what the fuck you know, I don't know what the fuck you don't know. Like, how far back do I have to go into your musical education to figure this out? I mean, I had one guy I had when I was working with one of our new guys before quarantine that was like, yeah, I don't really know how to read music, and I'm like, are you kidding me right now? It's like, just write the note underneath each one, go through and just.
You mean wait, couldn't tell you the name of the note based on the Really?
Yeah.
Who?
Sign
language it to me.
It starts with this letter.
Is that it?
It's a P.
Okay.
I even did it backwards to me so you could fucking read it.
Well, I was trying to interpret it like, is he doing it backwards?
No, I did it for you. But so Doogie, like going back to what you guys were talking about, no, like the basic shit is still important. I'm fully intending to just do it all because I'm a glutton for achievements. If my Xbox profile has
says anything about you, absolutely.
Trust me, you don't do solo legendary on Halo Reach if you're
for
not
nothing.
If you're not a masochist.
Doogie has no idea what you're talking about right now. He's too busy.
I do. I know exactly. No, I know exactly what you're talking about. My buddy Matt MacArthur, who's also a great piper, we used to play Halo a lot, and we made it pretty far in legendary, although kind of like it was like dual legendary though, if that makes sense.
That helps sometimes. Sometimes it's a hindrance, and sometimes it's a help.
But I wasn't really I wasn't really. He was the master relative to me, but I do know exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, good.
That shit's hard, man.
I tried it once. I'm like, nah, fuck this. I don't care that much.
Yeah, well, it snowed a lot where I'm
respectable. I'm respectable at Halo.
But yeah, I mean, I think it's worth going through. And I don't want this whole episode to be just sucking the Piper's Dojo's dick. Like
it's not that. I mean,
it's a good fucking platform, and I think now is like the best time.
Well, what I find remarkable is now that people have, and beyond whether it's good or bad or not, people have the time to put into these things. Granted, normally this might take 2 years for them to learn this kind of stuff. They're doing it in, granted, they're at least understanding the concepts within weeks instead of years. They can't execute it because the fingers are always behind the brain theoretically, but they're learning a hell of a lot because they got nothing else to do, which is great. Great for us. I do notice also that the dojo in general, our students have improved over the last couple of years, at least that I've noticed. And Andrew, you may have noticed this for years. I don't know, but they're definitely getting better. But now they're really starting to clamp down. Like it's kind of remarkable sometimes. I'm like, I thought this person sucked. They're actually not that bad.
We work true miracles at the dojo. Like it's like anything, it's like athletics. I don't think we're not helping many people get from like collegiate level to crushing it in the NBA, but we're helping a lot of people go from zero to really pretty damn decent. Mm-hmm. Like it's really incredible. It's actually why I still do this. It's because it really works. And so yeah, I think it's really. I don't think Alex Gandy is going to come on the dojo and we're going to help him get to the next level. I don't think that's going to happen. Right. But I mean, Josh, we can help turn your career around.
Oh yeah, man.
Keep signing on.
I definitely need it because my band's not competing, so I got to focus on my solo career now.
Actually,
we started on the new site. We started to collect before recordings because, like, you take a person like Sue Kennedy. I think she's a fan of the show.
She is.
Now she has some background in music, but her development has been absolutely unreal.
Remarkable.
It's unbelievable. And I, sometimes I've asked her, like, where did you learn how to play? She's like 100% dojo. I'm like, that's fucking.
Yeah, I noticed the exact same thing.
Well, and it's also like the thing that I've always like the way that I've always thought about the dojo was, like you said, it's not so much about getting you from grade 2 to grade 1 or grade 3 to grade 2, or when you're looking like an athletics kind of comparison. You're not going from collegiate to pro, but you'll get the fuck off the couch, like, and you'll be pretty good. Like, if you can get on a scale of 10
to varsity, maybe.
Like on a scale of 10, if you can get from like a 1 to a 4, that's a long way, man. Like, that's pretty good.
But let's not discount, and I want to ask Andrew about this because we have so many students, at least the ones that are active are generally lower level, right? Beginners to intermediate, roughly, grade 4-ish and below, roughly. But like, we don't, or at least they're not actively engaged, like in the, say, going from 4 to 3 to 2-ish range, right? And we know, like, is there, what do you think the dojo can do for people like that? Why aren't they engaged in that, do you think?
Well, I think it's an ego thing, right? I mean, bagpiping is like all about that. But look at somebody like Roberta Hayworth as well. I mean, she is a fantastic player. She would have been an excellent player in Or and More. Like, I wish I had known about her sooner. Mm-hmm. She didn't start that way, but the reason the dojo works so well is because it works so well. It's the exact same system we used to build Or and More up. It's the exact same system I used to, like, at least thus far, be able to plug myself in well with Inverary when I go over there, right? It's just making sure people understand what the fundamental basics actually are, and just kind of peeling back all those subjectivity layers and just being able to do it. So, that's what we do. Most people are kind of hooked on the on who specifically is teaching them, which is cool. Like, there's this isn't about
there's so many
about other
name droppers
teachers.
and bagpiping, man.
You're talking about that kind of hooked.
No, people that like to say, "Oh well, I work with Bruce Gandy, and I blah blah blah." Like, oh my god, enough. The name dropping. Sorry, go ahead.
But like, and that's just it. And Bruce Gandy is an outstanding teacher, but it's like,
yeah, that was no slight at him.
But then what? But then what? It's like, no matter who you work with, right? You still have to take the ball and run with it, and you have to be able to deliver somehow. And that could be difficult. It's a really difficult thing to do.
It doesn't matter if the Maharishi Shima is your yoga teacher. Like, unless you actually put it into a practice, it doesn't make a fucking difference.
I wasn't talking so much about the name dropping hooked, so much as like the drive cross country in a diaper type hooked.
Yeah.
Let's not go there.
Well, there's always that.
Let's wave off.
Ding.
So speaking of the fact that you get to plug into Inverary, like when you just show up over there, I mean, according to Ross Miller, who says, like, when Andrew just fucking shows up like a king and just drops in, like, did you hear that episode, by the way, when Ross was on?
I did not, but if he said that, I'll actually maybe listen to your shit show.
No, it's called Shit Show. There's no space.
Yeah, no space. Yeah. Yeah, Ross was busting your balls about just showing up whenever you wanted. Granted, we didn't egg him on or nothing.
Yeah, I feel insecure about it, and the irony is those guys, like Ross, and those guys are amazing players, right? But they're there twice a week busting their balls all year. Mm-hmm. And the irony is, I wish I was able to do that, I do kind of, like Josh was saying, like I'm a little bit messed up in the head, and I do really like that grind. So I feel kind of like insecure and bummed out about that, for most of the year, because I wish I was there. So anyway,
well, you like
I
the
just
grind.
try to.
Do you like the grind at the grade 1 level and not the grade 3 level though?
Well, the grade, it's like, yeah, that's exactly correct. Yeah.
I was gonna say there is a difference.
It's not the grade 3 level that bothers me. Like, I would be really, really happy to grind at any level. It's the grade 3 mentality that bothers me.
Exactly.
That's the issue. And it's like, if everybody in the grade 3 band had a good mentality, which is that they enjoy grinding and working hard on their playing, I would have a blast. I'm probably, which it's unrealistic. It's never going to happen. That's why it's grade 3, right? Mm-hmm. But if it was somehow magically like that, I don't think I would go overseas to play. I don't think I would, because that sounds great. But it's just, that's the challenge with the grade 3, is the mentality. And I love everybody in the band. They're my buds. But they'll be they could tell you what I'm like at practice. It's like
we gotta
it's difficult.
Can you connect me with Pat? I need to talk to him again.
Have him come on.
I want to know what Andrew's really. Well, I've seen it. I've been there.
I'm actually interested in this. So when I'm kind of pulling some context clues here, but is the grade 3 mentality that y'all are referring to like my shit don't stink, so I don't have to put the work in, or?
I don't think it's I don't.
No,
shit don't stink. It's just it's the same mentality we deal with, where people are just sort of
there,
just there.
Yeah.
It's like, I think each band is different. I think there can be that kind of stuff in bands. There's not going to be any of that in a band that I'm in charge of, because, like, generally speaking, there's nobody that's going to show up that's going to be able to pull that shit on me. Like, oh, you're that great. Okay. Like, let's hear you play that, and let's have a nice, careful listen to if you can actually do that. So we don't really have that. But we, it's just, in our band, it's the just sort of, it's the idea that the band should be fun, that fun is the top priority, maybe, and that's a big issue, because people don't want to go home and work hard and make sacrifices on behalf of their playing and on behalf of the band, because the band's supposed to be fun. I think that's probably the biggest issue we have.
I think that's probably
exactly the same thing.
Yeah, I think that's all. Like, I think that's lower grade bands too. Like, we deal with a lot of that.
Oh yeah.
Well,
and that's what it is. It's a lower grade mentality, right? It's like, it's
or it's like you gotta adjust your mindset to where what you consider fun is not playing like shit.
That's right. Yes.
That's fun for me. I enjoy it when it sounds good.
This is the big difference we've dealt with, where people have fun just being there, and we have fun by playing maybe not good music, but at least better
when
than
it
average
clicks,
music, hopefully.
yeah. Like, when it clicks, it's like, okay, I'm now having a good time.
You know what's fun for me? Playing with other musicians that at least semi take it seriously, and then practice before they get there, and then we kind of know what we're doing when we get there. And maybe it's not perfect or whatever, but we know at least
everyone's
the music.
working. Yeah, like. I mean, like,
that's a whole different. Let's not go down that
different thing. Well, I mean, it ties. I would say like a good parallel, right? So, like when you're playing in a fucking rock band, which we have both done.
Yeah.
You currently
all three of us.
Yeah, like all three of us. Like, there's like 4 people, man. Everybody's got to know their shit, and everyone wants to like make. And maybe it's just because like practices and gigs are so infrequent in that scene, where maybe you like focus more on like getting it right, or maybe it's just you're more passionate about it. I don't really know what happens there, but like you learn your shit.
That's interesting, because I've been in Vegas. I've been 3, maybe 4 bands. Well, not counting you and me, because that was always kind of a joke thing.
Yeah.
But we did it just to jam together.
Still rock.
But I've been in like 3 semi-serious bands, if you will. And only one of the 3 had one person, maybe 2, that kind of was like, didn't obviously practice in between, didn't really know what they were doing, and I got just as annoyed at them. I just didn't make it vocal because I wasn't in charge, as I do in pipe band, where the other 2 bands I play in all of them are very serious and are well prepared every time. But I think it's because there's less opportunity for schmuckness. But and then those people filter out pretty quick. In rock bands, it's way like, if you don't want to like playing with somebody, you just don't fucking go.
Yeah. It's just over.
Yeah, it's different than like pipe bands because it's like this is all you got. You're
Well,
like,
also you have the advantage of being in Las Vegas, where the drummer is the prettiest girl at the bar, because there's no fucking drummers. like a good drummer is impossible to find. Like a good drummer is the rarest thing. A good bass player is the second rarest thing.
Bass is important.
And then guitarists and singers, dime a dozen. There's 1,000 of them.
Big time, yeah. Well, except for my other band, which can't find a singer to save our lives. But well, we haven't. We'll get there.
I tried, man, but I just made too many dick jokes.
Yeah, you took it. You wanted to be like Steel Panther, and we wanted to be serious.
It's always fun going to a rehearsal and it's like, yeah, we're just gonna play one of our tunes. And you should make up words. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me right now?
Well, make up a melody. That's what we wanted to hear. But that's kind of what it is, man. If you're like, I've been in like quote unquote real music situations because I studied drums in high school and college and stuff. And like, you show up to an audition and they're like, oh, guess what? It's improv time. Like, there's always that improv part of the audition, whatever you want to call it, you know. And in piping, that doesn't really happen, I don't think, because everything's so well prepared.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's so regimented.
But like in every other form of music,
and everybody's so desperate. There's no real, like, if pipe bands did auditions, they'd be so much better, but you need players so bad that we all skip that part of the process. Like, we might have an audition, but it's not really, is it?
Did you just dump Red Bull into your whiskey?
I did. I'm trying to get them both down before this ends.
Are you making tiger's blood right now?
I'm making mostly tiger's blood.
No, I think that's an important point. Like, you really don't have to audition to hang around a band, right? Like so we
pipe band, you mean?
Yeah, like
yeah.
we do an audition for like kilted.
Getting a kill.
Yeah, like you get kilted and you actually go out and play stuff after you pass like the lowest possible bar. Which, by the way, I'm gonna make every single member of our band retake that test, because as soon as someone tells me they're not really sure they know Bonnie Dundee, I want to throw a knife at their face.
Like Call of Duty style.
Yeah.
But that actually
we call that Josh McEachern style. The McEacherns were doing it long before Call of Duty.
This brings on a good point, and Andrew, you could tell me to wave off if we've gone away from this, but the 10,000 pipers concept. That the dojo has promoted, and we've sort of backed off on it lately, I think.
I don't really know what that means.
You kind of know, but I haven't really. You know the details, but not the grand scheme. So, Andrew, do you want to talk about like what that means?
I have the micro view.
Yeah, you're the micro view. About what your thought on that was and what that means.
It's definitely like kind of in a holding pattern right now, because none of us are able to make any pipers right now. Really, I'd be surprised if anyone cranking out brand new students, but it's just the idea that it's the idea that we have to, if we really want to be successful, we have to start making new players, which is kind of a difficult thing to do. But one of the things that the dojo is going to get involved in moving forward, when logistics kind of clear up a little bit, is just helping bands successfully create new players and create a correct pipe band structure that's sustainable, that actually sets people up for to be able to be successful. So that's one of the big projects that the dojo is it's kind of like it's going to be a 5 to 10 year, it has that kind of scope to it, because it takes a little bit of time and patience, but it's really not rocket science. And so, we've been talking quite a bit about that. Like, I kind of, and what I'd like to do is create, 10,000 new pipers in the USA in the next 10 years. And even if 8,000 of them never get beyond a parade band, that still puts 2,000 great pipers in the, in our communities and helping to raise the level and move things forward. So, that's something we're looking at. Yeah.
He's stealing our tactics, man.
Not at all.
Our whole tactic was make a cult.
Oh, well, okay. The cult of bagpipes, absolutely.
Yeah, like I've been, I the whole Chanarine philosophy I just stole from Scientology, man. I just want
well, even if 80% of your band or 80% of your new students become parade members, that's
it's numbers.
That's 80% of people that can help raise money.
Yeah, that's
for the organization, regardless, by doing events, which we struggle with. Every band struggles with constantly to get numbers to show up to events.
So we should adopt the
and by the way,
style of like army recruiters.
80% of people when they learn the pipes, that's what they envision piping being all about, by the way.
Absolutely.
Throwing it out there.
That's exactly how I joined. Like, oh, I'm going to play in a parade. That's so cool. And then I realized I hate parades and I never want to do it again. But took me 10 years to figure that out.
That's actually good insight though. Like I didn't know that. Like I'm so far away from when I started and why and whatever.
So far. So different.
And I don't work with new people very often, so I'm like, what the fuck do you mean you don't want to play in a grade 2 contest? Like what?
Yeah, right? Like we lose sight of that very often, and that's a bad thing. And I do it. I'm guilty as hell because I'm
of doing that same thing.
And I forgot my path, and my path was luck in a way, but like I wanted to play Amazing Grace and fucking play in a parade like everybody else. And I wanted to play in a corn or whatever, like that inspired me, whatever it was. And I'm like. But then it grabbed me later. But it took me a couple of years for it to grab me, and I try to push people on that immediately.
Unlike your priest, it took you a couple of years before it grabbed you.
Yeah.
Let me ask you. I think some of the things that inspire me are like, take a look at the NFL. You guys got an NFL team coming to town here.
Absolutely.
Eventually.
Well, yeah,
maybe we'll see.
I bet everyone's glad we spent all our money on building a fucking stadium right now.
That's not going to be used. Yeah.
But like, if you want to make it to the NFL, is there any question where you would begin?
No.
I would have to be black.
Well,
that's not true at all.
No, there's definitely white people. You would have to start insanely young. Probably.
But like, how do you do it? It's really, really easy. The answer is like super easy. It's called Pop Warner football, right?
Pop Warner, absolutely. Well, I don't know. They don't call it that out here, but yeah. But yes.
But like the local football team, right? There's like whatever you're doing to learn, and the same goes for hockey, and the same goes for baseball. Absolutely, Little League, right?
Little League, yeah.
Like the system is organically built in to society, and that's why profession. But like that's what piping needs to be too.
Yeah, but
it needs to be.
You also can't like make $31 million and beat your girlfriend half to death in an elevator if you're in piping. Like you can do that in football.
Oh, it can be done.
I don't think that's true at all.
I've definitely beaten a girlfriend half to death in an elevator. I just didn't make $31 million.
I wasn't your girlfriend, by the way.
Right, sorry. But no,
we were
just feeling it out.
You see worse than that.
Well, okay, so you make a point, Josh. The end game is not the same. True, but Andrew's got a very good point. The system is what makes it work. Is that it starts so young, and that it's so consistent through all the upgrades, if you will, from Pop Warner, Little League, whatever you want to call it, to the next level, to the sixth grade team, to the junior varsity team, to the varsity team, to the college team, to the DC, or so what do they call it in collegiate, Division 2, Division 1, etc., whatever, all that kind of stuff. Yeah. There's so many levels to work your way up. Canadian Football League, whatever.
I think like Doogie's the only person collecting data on this for piping, right? Like at this point, the most interesting thing that's coming out of this is what you talked about at the beginning of the show, which is you have someone submitting a before recording. You're tracking the courses they went through, what they did. Did they do well? Did they do bad? Like recordings along the way. Like I don't know how much of this you're keeping, but like you're creating these profiles of like, okay, whether or not I know why you clicked join at point A or clicked leave at point B, I know everything you did along the way, so you can at least start to build models on, okay, here's how you make a piper.
Right, correct.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's, we're not really, there's not really a question about how to do that at this stage. What you need is like, what you need is to teach people how to teach pipers. That's what you really need to do.
Right.
And as far as we're concerned, there's not really a question about how you might go about doing that. We just have to break down some of the paradigms and the way that people think about operating their organizations. Right. Most of us, like you said, most of us are so disconnected from how we started, and we're hooked on the idea of higher level playing, and we have been for so long. We're just completely disconnected from, what we might like, really simple things that actually don't take that much time that we could be doing in order to continue to build the base.
Right, and the base is so key because essentially you build a giant base, and then hope that 20% of them get the bug, if you will. I mean, or maybe hope is the wrong word, but sort of give them set up a system
it's not hope. It's
I'll get it.
that takes advantage of that opportunity when they do, right?
Well, and I have a question for both of you. I'll have Doogie first, and then you, Fusco. Do you think there is more of a shortage in the States of students willing to advance to a parade or grade 4 level, or do you think there's more of a shortage of instructors to get them there?
So I have to go first.
Yeah.
I mean,
So there are little league teams all across America. There's probably hundreds and thousands of little league teams. Okay, and I would guess that very few of them have ever played Major League Baseball, right?
The coaches, you mean?
But they coach the foundation of Major League Baseball, right? So there's no shortage of teachers. Anybody who can play who's at least remotely dialed in to the basic fundamentals, they should be out there teaching the basics. But they should be, but they just need help as to what the right way to do that would be, and what the sort of trajectory you might take somebody through would be. So I think there's tons and tons of teachers, and I think there's tons and tons of people who would give bagpiping a try. We just have to focus on that.
Well, don't you think take the MLB for example,
that's Major League Baseball for our international
sorry. So they have systems set up to train the guys at the absolute lowest levels, and granted you have to take advantage of it, of course, and there's only so much that they can do, but they're teaching people at the lowest levels because they know in the long run, because they have a long run look at this thing, they're looking 30, 40 years out, it's going to benefit us for our T-ball coaches to know what the fuck they're doing, at least from a fundamental standpoint, right?
Right. Well, a lot of people coach Little League, right?
Well, and a lot of people coach.
You
also get a longer chain, right?
Really
sorry, what was that, Andrew?
I was just going to say, why do people coach Little League? It's so that their kids can have a great experience.
Right.
It's the exact same reason many of us should be teaching piping, and it's I kind of think if you're out there piping and you have kids, you should make sure your band has a beginner program and set something up so your kids can have a cool experience.
Good experience. Yeah.
When they come of age, as it were. But that's why people coach Little League. I kind of picture a world where that's going on in piping too.
Maybe that's what we're missing, though. Maybe and not necessarily in a feeder program for kids to learn and have fun and whatever. I think just management. I think that we run into a problem where you and I are so just overwhelmed with the adults that we're dealing with now, as far as trying to get music together, that we don't have someone that's enthusiastic to teach the basics to tiny humans.
For us,
you guys might not have. You guys.
Go ahead, Andrew.
Sorry. You guys might not have enough people, but I think in general, bands, in a situation like yours, you guys should be focused on the top band, but you should have people in there teaching your beginner program, which should operate super smoothly, really, really easily, and should be super fun to do, but they should be in there teaching the beginner program, not you guys. And you guys are the ones that would deal with the outliers as they come up through. The people are actually kind of serious about digging in and potentially reaching the higher levels, right? You're kind of going about, you're kind of thinking about it the wrong way if you're just thinking, oh, I ain't got time for that. Because it's true, and you shouldn't, because your people of your caliber should be earmarked for developing the higher rungs of the ladder.
Yeah, I don't even think it's I don't think we fell into a trap of I don't have time for that. I think the trap we fell into was well, if we want it to be done the right way, we have to overextend and do everything.
Correct. I definitely have done that.
So I think
and that's what the dojo wants to get involved in.
I would also say that you're way better with super new people
than you.
Well,
that doesn't mean I'm good at it.
You're better at teaching. You're better at teaching overall than I am.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean I'm good at new people, especially people that are kind of half-assed.
So we need a third
Andrew,
leg to
well,
our
this,
tripod.
But this
man.
this is what Andrew's talking about. Is like, again, we haven't advertised this significantly yet, but the dojo's talking about this 10,000 piper across the United States thing, where everybody within the organization is responsible for everybody below them, if you will. So, like, in a sense, and this is the thing we've had a lot of hard time people buying into, especially in our organization, where like all the people that we're teaching on a Tuesday night we're doing currently, they are all the ones teaching the beginners. But to get them to buy in, like, we are all part of the system. Yeah. Like, you got to make it happen. Like, it's like, all right, guess what? You have no choice.
That's a good idea. Yeah, I mean, I think realistically it should be kind of like everybody has
except the guy that can't fucking tell you where the beats are. We don't want him to.
It's not even. It's not even like a new thing, right? Like, we're just stealing this from the Jedi.
Oh yeah, like, no. This is
you don't have to be. You don't have to be a master to have a Padawan. You know what I mean? Like,
right. Correct. Absolutely.
Like, as soon as you're up to like kilted, okay, now you need to take on a student.
Correct. Because how much did we learn?
No, that's not really correct. But okay.
Why not?
So look, the way that it works, right? The way to do it is for everybody in your advanced band. So, you know, in the band that goes out and competes on the field, right? Their responsibility is not to do a million parades. Their responsibility is to teach beginners, right? So, you know, the average competition band, let's say there's 20 people in it, and those are your teachers, right? And those are the people who, if you want to compete with us, you're going to be doing some teaching.
Or for if it's our competition band, it's 2 teachers.
Well, yeah, we're doing way less numbers. We're talking like 6 people that are local.
But you're going to have to build up. You're going to have to build up your program, and it won't take you long to get to that point, right? Now, meanwhile, everybody in the middle, those are the people out there doing parades and performances. You know, and helping the band raise money and helping other people attain experience and providing the structure for outliers to ascend through into your competition band, right? So everybody, it's not that everybody is involved in teaching, it's that everybody has a specific role play in the organization based on, you know, what their aptitude is, basically, or what their level of commitment and drive is.
Sure.
As well. So that's the idea. It's like, you know, and I'm sure we'll refine what our idea of the system is over time, but that's the basic idea. And everybody can learn how to operate their band in that way. You know,
it's interesting.
Instead of crushing souls in grade 5 in your peak goal that you think maybe someday you might be able to do, right? You just work on building the system. So crushing souls in grade 3 or grade 2 is just a matter of time, really. And yeah, for a lot of people listening, like, oh, I'm never going to get to a grade 2 level. Fine, you know, but you can build an organization where plenty of people will pass you just statistically. You know it's going to happen. Mm-hmm. You know, in 3 or 4 or 5 years, and like, if you can put your ego aside, that'll be great, and your organization will even pass the level that you are currently able to produce, right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting. We're gonna, you know, and that's what we're going to get involved in. We're going to, you know, we're going to help teach bands how to do that. Which, you know, it's not that we're angels at it yet either. You know, we're going to have to get good at it as well. But that's the basic idea.
Right. Well, so I have some questions that are purely for my own edification.
Okay.
Because one of the things that I've run into is I'm shit at playing bagpipes. and the reason I think I'm shit at playing bagpipes is because I've been such a yes man for the organization and making the organization thrive and survive to my own detriment. And you know, I just want to jam, dude. I just want to play good music. Doogie, what is the solution for people who were thrust into teaching positions because they were senior players or more advanced players in the band, but really that's not their interest. Their interest is more, you know, I want to see how good I can be, not necessarily hamstring myself to make people be able to play Green Hills in the right tempo.
Right. You know, the solution is to teach in groups. I think like that's what I see as the solution. So if you're basically trading all of your time to teach people one-on-one, I think that's where I don't know. That's where people go wrong, I think. There is a time and place for one-on-one teaching, but it's only once a player has a foothold and has the fire lit under them, right? So the solution for you is to refuse to teach for Andy until he's implemented a system that actually makes sense and has the prospect of actually growing into something real.
Well, and
why would you assume Josh would know what that is?
Well, I've learned. I
don't. But he knows what he's doing isn't working,
and that's because I know.
Dude, I know what we're doing isn't working.
Like I know that I don't because this was never my intention. Like, despite being a yes man, like education and growth was never my intention. Like I want to see hey, how far can I go?
Yeah, but now you're a leader and you have no choice.
Now I'm kind of shoehorned into it.
When you're in a leadership position, guess what? The organization is more important than you are, regardless.
Yeah.
No, I don't think that's true. I don't think the organization has to be more important than you are. I just think you have to pay to play, right? So picture a massive organization, right? Mm-hmm. Which is what you'll build up over 3 to 5 years. Picture a massive organization, right? And you're competing in the top level band, whatever that is. Who cares what the grade level is? But you're competing in the top level organization. You should be able to focus on playing at a really high level. Okay, what you need to be doing. That's what the organization needs you to be doing, right? So all you have to do to pay your dues is to teach a group of beginners for, let's say, 45 minutes a week before band practice. If that's all you had to do, it would be perfectly fine and it wouldn't bother you in the least, right?
Well, I have some disagreements because one of the things for me that I've realized as we have been quarantined is I find that I can get further with a person by themselves in 20 minutes than I can with a group in an hour.
Yeah, but it's not about how far you get with them, I don't think. It's about giving everybody exposure to the ideas and seeing what cream rises to the top.
Okay, I get it. So
that's an interesting mentality.
Law of large numbers, more people, and maybe and then once you find the guy that's going to take it and run with it.
Out of 3, you push the 1 up.
Yeah, that's interesting.
We don't really have that option.
Well, and then you think more about 10, right? So let's say you're teaching a group of 10 people. 3 of them are going to be clearly of greater aptitude. It could be for any number of reasons. Maybe they have previous musical experience. Maybe their family is Scottish. Maybe their sister is a Highland dancer. Whatever. Who knows? Who cares what the reason is? But there will be 3 people who are clearly getting the picture, right? And so they need to be moved on to the next group of high aptitude people, right? It's think of it as a machine rather than a process of teaching one person at a time.
I just think that's a luxury we don't have. I don't think we have.
You think it's what?
We don't have it's a luxury we don't have. When was the last time we sat on a group of 10 students?
8 years.
Well, that's But and then now you're uncovering the real reason I think, so many bands aren't successful is there's, actually having students or even somebody who's willing to try that's not actually the first layer of the pyramid, right? So the first layer of a successful pipe band program is the recruit system. It's not your beginner program. Right. And so we have to get good. We have to get good at recruiting new players, and we have to have a plan and a system for doing that.
This is huge.
Let me ask you this. How many flyers do you hand out and people to join your big program at all of the events that you play at and at the Las Vegas Highland Games? Per year, how many flyers do you go through?
I wouldn't know this.
This would be
it's a trick question.
The board.
It's a trick question because you're not doing it, right? You're not doing it in a systematic way. I'm willing to bet.
So
we've
for our
done
concert,
it, but we wouldn't have a way to track it.
At the games last year, I don't believe LVPB put up a booth.
I don't remember, to be honest.
Yeah.
But in the past, we usually put up a tent of pure recruitment purposes and hand out flyers and not flyers, little 3x5 cards or whatever, and hey, join the band.
And does the flyer say Does the flyer say, "Come learn to play bagpipes for free"?
I don't remember. This was
Yeah.
2 years ago now.
I was running the
Probably.
game, so I don't know.
And it was not at all what I was involved in. I was the music guy and not the recruitment guy. So I don't know, to be honest. But probably not. I don't know. And I'm pretty sure we didn't do it for free. So why is that important? Tell me about that.
Well, because the bagpipe is very well. You can think about other sports too. I mean, people try football and baseball for free too. By the way, you know what I mean? Like you start by throwing a ball around the yard, right? So it needs to be the same sort of thing for anything, and especially something as obscure as piping that most people have not seen on TV, right? If you're going to get them in the door, it's going to have to be free, at least for a while, for them to know that it's something they want to do. You know those commercials, the free commercials?
No, but it just makes me laugh to hear you say that.
Like, but here's so here's and we're kind of we're getting in. I know we're getting into the end of your allotted time, Andrew. But
you gotta go. Let us know. Yeah.
But here's what I kind of want us to focus on for final thoughts. I want to know, and we'll go across with Doogie first, then you, Fuko, then me, because I have to hit stop record at some point. What do you think is... I want to get back into this subject. Like, what do you think is the value for a medium to advanced level player to spend less time on their playing and more time on creating these 10,000 new players? And we'll start with you, Doogie.
So what can you formulate that into an actual question?
Yeah. So what does a medium to advanced level player get out of creating 1,000 new pipers? Who 2,000 or 1,000 new pipers who 200 of which may actually get to a parade level?
I don't know. Like, what does a member of society get out of paying taxes?
Did you answer my question with a question?
I did, but it's the same sort of thing. So it's basically the dues you pay to be in my organization is that you pitch in with a small amount of teaching on a weekly basis.
Right.
And so
nobody
that's what
in
you
our
get.
band pays dues, and guess what? They don't fucking play gigs, so
They don't teach either.
they don't do anything other than receive benefit of being taught. Right.
So
I think in the
Doogie, back
perfect
to you.
world,
Like,
right?
how would you structure this? And assume you only have like 6 people to work with.
Yeah, maybe 8.
If you only have 6 people to work with, then you need to start from the very bottom, and those 6 people need to be working on recruitment and a beginner program in an effort to produce an actual parade band, an actual well-stocked parade band. That's what people should be focused on doing, so that you can develop the foundation to actually support an ongoing competition band.
Yeah,
right?
I
Like
agree.
that should be obvious, but it's not because it's hard. It's kind of hard work-ish. But if you actually want a successful band, you're gonna have to do that successfully in one form or another. Now, the good news is you have an opportunity to create a culture of people for whom giving back and teaching is built into their DNA from square one. Right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
it's not going to be a big issue. Like that particular issue that you're concerned about, Josh, is not going to be a big issue. It might be right now because we have a bunch of people in our band who are used to a culture that's, barely sustainable at best. And so, they're going to have to get with the program. And we're also all going to have to start thinking in a 5-year window instead of a year-to-year window, right?
So potentially the issue could be that we're trying to change the tire while the car is moving down the road.
Absolutely. And the other thing too is, like, I think we already talked about it a little bit in this show, although I lost my train of thought as I was saying that.
I'm staring
But,
at the
yeah, the other
webcam as if
thing-
Doogie's just a robot, that his head looks like this now.
Yes.
Yeah. Doogie, you're the robot that I'm staring at.
But the other thing too is, like, people, we already talked about this. Here we go. Which is, people just go to band practice for the social element anyway. So who cares if you're socializing at a struggling grade 4 level, or at a kick-ass parade band level. Who really cares? Especially if it's just for a year or two while you build a kick-ass foundation, right? Like what people really want. If you query your band, the small number of people there, like why are they really in the band? It's because they're all friends and they're having a good time. So be friends, building a great program that ultimately has a great competition band, instead of being a group of friends that struggles at the bottom level of whatever grade you're currently in.
Right.
Just change the paradigm. Change the paradigm slightly for a couple of years.
I like it.
I'm incredibly frustrated by this.
Why? I want to know why. I'm confused.
Because he's right, and I hate it when Doogie's
Don't
right.
you hate when Doogie's fucking right?
I
He's
fucking
not
hate
a
it.
fucking dumb guy, man. He's fucking smart.
Doogie's always right. Baby.
He's a
It
dick,
dri-
but he's smart.
It drives
I'm
me
a dick.
nuts.
I'm a dick, but I'm smart.
It drives me nuts.
Quote of the
but
year.
That makes so much sense to me.
Let me ask you one thing before I move on to my thoughts about this, Andrew. Because
Do I wish I was just stupid? Yes.
don't you wish it was
You could be like me.
you were like one of yeah, exactly.
I know.
You could
So-
be like me, stupid but strangely talented.
I want you to give us, our audience, a recommendation that they should go listen to. Go like on YouTube or whatever. Like, hey,
Like a musical
a
recommendation?
musical recommendation from a piping perspective. Hey, go listen to this. This is a good thing to listen to.
This shit slaps.
Like from an exciting standpoint. Don't give me like I don't want to hear Alistair Gillies MSR from 1988.
But do they potentially want to hear Alistair Henderson live at Celtic Thanksgiving?
They definitely
YouTube,
do.
search Las Vegas Pipe Band.
They definitely do. But like I'm curious, like what's an amazing medley to you? Like what turns you on from a medley performance?
Well, I mean, that's a loaded question.
Only if you answer the one that you fucking arranged.
Fine. I'm just gonna throw out like I'll tell you. I'm gonna give you the greatest medley of all time. Asterisks.
Perfect.
Tribute.
I love it. Tribute.
It was a
Go ahead.
cold and winding road. Oh yeah, I can actually play tribute on the guitar.
Dude, pull out your guitar right now. I want to hear this.
Wait. Let's finish the episode first.
I will wait. I will wait to hear this.
Save that for the post show with the Patreon audience.
Okay. So go ahead. Go. What's your answer?
So this is the greatest medley of all time, asterisks, which is SFU Pipe Band 1996. Greatest medley
Interesting.
ever conceived.
Really? What is it called? Does it have a name? I will look it up.
It's called SFU Pipe Band Medley 1996. It ends with the Cape Breton Fiddlers.
Okay. And were you in the band at the time?
No, I wasn't.
Oh, okay. Cool.
That's what the asterisk was for.
Should we start naming our medleys?
We should.
So let's
Wait
have
till
our
Well, at grade 4,
wait till
nobody
you're
cares.
good first.
let's make our G4 medley. We'll call it the Clit Puncher medley.
Dude, let's just be offensive as hell.
I just want to
the
hear
Clip Puncher medley.
I just want to hear someone announce that.
I need Bob
At a
Worrell to
games.
say that.
Oh yeah, the game's like coming from Las Vegas, Nevada, playing the Clit Puncher medley. A Las Vegas pipe band.
Oh, that'd be so fucking funny. Oh god. Listen, Glenn Caviezel is the champion of naming shit weird shit and getting it announced at a microphone. But we can outdo him. The challenge is to outdo him.
So like the the 2-4 march, drunk at the line, followed by the Strathspace, tongue punch, the fat box.
Hold on, I got more questions.
Ending with the real shite in a kilt.
Shit your kilt.
I just can't get through one show with you guys without it devolving into this sort of thing.
God.
So Doogie very well articulated his final thoughts as far as what do you do?
I forget the question. What was the question?
It came into essentially how do you convince your medium or advanced level players that they have to be involved by teaching. They have to not only take the instruction from the top down, but also give from the bottom.
Well, I struggle with this because for many reasons. but I'm also a very passive person, generally speaking. But you got to create the culture where they have to give back to the organization by teaching, because they're not doing any fucking thing else. Right?
They're not practicing. That's for damn
They're
sure.
certainly not doing anything else. So,
And just to be clear, nobody's teaching until they are legit players.
correct.
Not grade one players, but legit people who can play bagpipes and correct embellishments.
Yeah,
I don't want.
we have enough.
I don't
of
want you to
those.
think. I don't want you to think people are teaching right away. I mean,
No.
They're going to be developing for a number of years before they're going to be involved in in the teaching aspect.
No,
So the first step
we've
might
got
be
enough of those people that can
Teaching
handle that.
teachers.
But we talked about this like a year ago, right?
Oh,
Teaching
yeah, man.
teachers, and we started this a little bit, but I think the program is important to have that in place so that they know what they're doing.
Just make them pay for it and fucking do the chainrant.com/suckless.
The other thing though is that so this could be our fault. This could be American bands in general. I don't know.
We're in charge.
but
Everything's our fault.
well, yes, in the end, yes, you're right. You're right. But in the end, like, we let people get away with so much. They have to do nothing. And they have no buy-in. And this is what I like about the 10,000 Piper thing is we have to it forces
The pipers we have
to be
just
inspired.
let them go, because at this point they're never going to get anywhere. Just get new ones. Make new ones.
Well, you got to make new ones. That's
Can I-
true.
Throw out the baby with the bathwater.
Go ahead, Andrew. I know you have something to say. Go ahead.
So the reason that you let them get away with doing nothing is because you can't afford to lose them. So
Correct.
that's the first thing that you have to change. Because guess what? Unless you're a grade 1 player, or a grade 1 pipe band rather, you're going to have to be ready to lose players, because great players are always going to want to move on somewhere else. So you need to have so many people, and you need to be having such a great time that when inevitable attrition occurs, it's not a big deal and doesn't upset the apple cart.
Correct. But we need numbers for that.
Well, and what Doogie is saying is, if you don't have numbers, put shock collars on the 4 or 5 people you have, and if they try to leave the practice hall, zap, baby.
You know what I'd like to see? And this might get edited out once Andrew hears
Officially
what I'm about
not
to
what
say.
I was saying.
But let's put shock collars on Andrew Douglas and Eric Olette
Oh, I was actually going to do
with
a shock.
controls in each other's hands and see what happens.
I was gonna do for our Worlds bet, assuming the Worlds had happened, which it's not going to. Our Worlds bet this year was going to be one of us has to wear a shock collar through the entire episode, and we were going to have Megan on to hold the remote.
Oh my god, dude, that would be ridiculous.
Well, you didn't want to get maced.
No, I don't want to get maced. Shock collar isn't permanent. It's like you feel it at the time and it's over. Mace
Neither
is like
is mace.
my eyes are going to be blind for the rest of my life.
Nah, that's not how mace works.
I don't know. I have no idea, but I don't want chemicals in my eyes. Either way.
So your final thoughts are you don't want chemicals in your eyes.
I do not. I think this 10,000 Piper thing is a great idea. Granted, I do work for the dojo. I will say that out loud. But
We don't have to disclose our interests. We're not NPR, dude.
I think we do. I don't know. Fuck, I don't know. But a wise man once said to me, Len Wood of the Phoenix Pipe Band,
Smart man.
numbers solves everything. A large band solves all your problems because you can place people where you need them, and one, you can raise money by parade players. You don't get overly involved in like overly emotional about where they're going to end up. If you have large numbers, you're going to have people that are going to filter to the top, cream to the top kind of thing, like Andrew's talking about, 20% or whatever it is, whatever the number is.
Probably like
That are
5.
going to filter into your competition band that are going to be good. But in the end, number solves all. So but what do? The most important thing is to start from the baseline, recruitment. Andrew's absolutely right. We do not do this well. We skip this part significantly.
Well, it's because we're trying to change the tire while we're rolling down the road.
Correct.
Here's a question.
Got to
I
get
have.
better at the recruitment part.
Here's a question I have for you,
All
and Doogie, feel free to chime in after Fusco answers. Would you be willing to put a 1 to 2 year hiatus on competition solely to build parade?
This has crossed my mind many a time because, as we've discussed with the dojo, so many people inside the dojo have gotten so much better, so much faster, because
we're really sucking the dojo dick right now.
I promise you, I don't mean to do it. It's not my intention to do that.
It's actually good, but
when I work with the students and our focus is a fundamental, not playing in the band, which listen, I am an active fucking cunt, because in the band I am getting people. My whole goal is to get people to play better in a competition band. But from the dojo perspective, all I care about is their growth as a piper, and I tell people this all the time when I'm on the strategy calls. Hopefully this doesn't get me fired. But when I'm on the strategy calls, I tell people, like, our goal for you as a dojo student is to be a better piper. Guess what's going to happen when you become a better piper? Everything else you want is going to just happen.
Yeah.
You're going to fit into your band. You're going to fit into your band better. You're going to be a solid player, and nobody's going to ever look at you because you know how to tune yourself. You know how to calibrate your drum reeds. You know how to do everything.
It's like boot camp.
Yes. If the fundamentals are strong, everything else will take care of itself. In our band, we do not do that. Because, and I tell people all the time, the mistake bands make all the time is that they're focused on getting you in the band, not teaching you to be a good piper.
But that's what we've done.
We do it all the fucking time. That
was your idea.
I know. We all do it. Every pipe band in existence in grade 4 does
so
this
if we took... Okay, so let's say we take Doogie's advice. It's a 5-year plan.
But hold on, let me back up. Your idea of, like, let's pull out of competition and just teach people to be good pipers, and then they'll just filter in. All I need them to do is the fundamentals right. I need them to be able to tune themselves, blow to a target point, i.e. the sweet spot, and play good A-lap, A-sap, and play the beat. That's all I need in the grade 4 level. That's all I fucking need.
But we're still trying to fix the car while it's moving down the road, man. Like,
we are now,
like,
but if I take them back and pull out of competition. But we're going to lose drummers if we do that.
Well, we can work with the drummers, but, like, the thing, at the end of the day, like, the problem we're going to run into is, like, I'm dealing with fundamental shit on my lessons. Like, when I'm working with people, I'm like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but your P guy isn't the same level as, like, your...
I got bad grace notes. I got crossing noises. I got shit that is just like you've learned wrong.
So let's ask Andrew about this. What would you do with what we're dealing with right now? Like, let's say you came into our band and moved to Las Vegas and became the pipe manager of Las Vegas Pipe Band.
Oh, please do.
How would you approach what to do?
I think you guys are having. I think this is the correct discussion to be having.
Well, we are geniuses. I mean,
yeah, naturally.
Yeah.
But what would you do? I'm curious.
I mean, in the situation you're in right now, I mean, if you're interested in long-term success of any kind at any grade, you've got to develop your beginner program. Whether or not you need to hang it up with your competition band, that's if you're going to lose a bunch of people that you need, then it becomes a difficult question. We're dealing with that locally as well. We're having these types of discussions locally, and
sure.
And at the moment we're still competing because we have lots of people who want to do that. And remember, like, that's sort of the dessert that's sort of the pudding after you have your meat, right? So what we want our folks to do is come teach, and then we'll have band practice immediately after, and that's sort of how we're structuring it. So so we're still planning to compete, but it's the right discussion to be having. So I got a jet, guys. What do we got? How do we wrap this thing up?
Well, honestly, yeah. Can you hear me?
Bueller?
Hello?
Yeah, I can hear.
Cheers.
Yeah.
I think we've had some actually very interesting things that happened today on this episode, like the discussion about when do you hang up your competition hat to focus on your bass. Can you build a strong house on sand? Apparently we cannot.
We cannot. We're terrible at it.
Yeah. But yeah, I just gotta say, Doogie, thank you for coming on the show, man. Love you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Stay safe with the family. And at the end of the day, I suppose it's time to play us out.
Wait. Don't play us out yet.
Oh, wait. You got something to say?
Are we still on?
Yeah.
Don't play us out yet. So here's what I would say is please don't, if what we talked about today inspired you and you want to do this with your band, please call me, because I promise you, no matter who you are, I promise you I've thought about this in way more depth than you, and I want to share my thoughts with you. so that you can get started and do this the right way. And we're also actively doing this right now too. So if you're out there listening to the show and you want to, make your band successful, call me.
Yep,
Absolutely.
you can get in touch with him at chanaran@gmail.com. Thank you very much, everyone. Goodbye.
So he doesn't have to show up to work. So he's been growing a beard, and he asked me for advice, and then I gave him some oils and shit and whatever.
Oh my god, I was showing my girlfriend some pictures of you pre-beard.
Oh fuck! Don't tell me what she says.
Because we were going through like old rock band shit, and she's like, "Who is that guy? Who's that weird guy in the back?" I was like, "That's Fusco." She's like, "Are you fucking?"
Fuck it.
That's pre-beard.
Listen.
Pre-beard SCO.
It is pre-beard. So, but Andrew, I gave him recommendations, and his kids are allergic to nuts, essentially, right? So
That's a good allergy to have unless they're Catholic.